Hey, Elizabeth. Oh, it's great to see you. Hey, Peggy. All right. Okay. All right. Good morning, you guys. Welcome to Friday Morning Yoga. I'm so glad you could join me. Whether you're here live or you're here later, I'm glad you're here, and we're going to have a nice warm-up, wake-up flow today. So let's just start seated with your legs crossed. So find a comfortable cross-legged position, and if you're not comfortable sitting cross-legged, you could diamond your legs instead, but you do want to be able to sit nice and tall so the crown of your head reaches toward the ceiling and your sit bones root into the ground. Turn your palms to face up and rest your hands on your knees. Close your eyes here, and let's just take a minute before we begin to move to find our breath and to find center. So if you need a little space from your thoughts, and maybe you do this week, just begin to turn your awareness to your breath. And just know that all of the mental chatter, all of the thinking, it will be there later on when you're done if you need to go back to it. But for now, let's just try to take a break from the constant train of thoughts running through your head. And that can be really tough to do. So one of the ways that we can do that is to begin to turn our attention just to the rhythm of our breath. It may help to say silently to yourself on your inhales, I am breathing in. And on your exhales, I am breathing out. Take a moment here to notice if you're clenching your belly, if you're holding your belly tight. Try to relax your belly and begin to let your breath move through your diaphragm. So your belly will expand on your inhales and relax on your exhales. I am breathing in and I am breathing out. Let's take like 3 more full rounds of belly breath here. Always supposed to be focused on our breath during yoga, but just keeping in mind if you get distracted from it, you can come back to it at any point just by redirecting, finding your focus again. It's perfectly normal to get distracted and come back. That's why we call it practice, not perfect. And just take one last full belly breath here, big deep inhale. And as you exhale, dip your chin forward toward your chest. So you're tucking your chin forward, lengthening the back of your neck. And then go ahead and turn your palms over so your palms are facing down, resting on your knees. And then as you inhale, bring your right ear over your right shoulder. Faces forward, just stretching the left side of the neck. And then as you exhale, bring your chin back to your chest. On your inhale, left ear to the left shoulder. And then exhale, chin to chest. And so I invite you to continue to do this, or if your neck is healthy, you can circle your head all the way around, making full circles, just going gently in your range of motion. So just do what feels right to you. Stay connected to your breath, and let go of any tension or tightness that you're holding in your neck this morning. And then the next time your head comes forward, if you're doing full circles, circle the other way just a couple of times so that we have balance. Still breathing in and out through the nose with the mouth closed. And take one more full breath. And we'll meet with our chin close to our chest. So let your head come forward, bowing your head forward. Bring your hands to prayer, pressing palms to palm. Reach your thumbs toward your sternum. And just before we begin to open our eyes and start to move around, take another breath or two here. And if you would like to set an intention or make an offering of your practice this morning, maybe just a way to send good energy into the universe or send love to someone you know who needs love this morning. And then lift up your head, open your eyes, and we're going to come up to tabletop. So coming onto all fours, tuck your knees under your hips, take your hands under your shoulders, and then as you inhale, we're going to move into cow. So draw your belly down, turn your sit bones up, reach your chest forward and through your shoulders. And then as you exhale, press your spine up toward the ceiling, tuck your chin, tuck your hips. Continue on your breath here. Inhale as you drop the belly, gaze forward. And then exhale as you tuck your chin, flatten out your feet, press through your spine. Let's do maybe 3 more or 4 more, following the rhythm and the flow of your breath. So taking the full inhale to come into cow, and the full exhale to press into cat. And then after your next full exhale, come back to a neutral position or a tabletop position. Let's take the right hand high up toward the top of your mat and just sit back in child's pose. So if you need to, space the knees out just a little bit. And once you get back in child's pose, inch through the right fingers. So we're trying to stretch the right hand up toward the top of the mat. At the same time, pull the tailbone back, finding length on the right side of the body. Stay for a breath. Make this a full belly breath. And then as you inhale here, lift your way up to tabletop, slide your right hand down, extend your left arm up, and sit back in child's pose. Start to inch your left fingers up toward the top of your mat. Reach back through your tailbone. Take a big breath into the left side of the body. And then again, as you inhale, lift your way up to tabletop. Let's walk both hands up a little higher toward the top of your mat. Tuck your toes under. Lift up your hips and come up to downward facing dog. Pedal out your legs a few times. Alternate bending one knee and then the other. Just finding some stretch in the hamstrings and the calves. Some movement in the feet and the knees and the ankles. And notice how that feels this morning. If things are tight, just notice. Just be with where you are. And then the next time you inhale, lift your heels away from the ground. And as you exhale, release your heels. So without forcing, you don't need to press them down, just release them down. Soften your knees a little bit. Look up towards your hands and take a few baby steps. Bring your feet up to your hands. Keep your feet about shoulder distance apart. Take your elbows, soften your knees, and come into ragdoll. Letting your upper body relax and hang. It might feel good to sway your arms around a little bit. Turn your head side to side or nod your head up and down. Just taking any movement that feels good here to you. Creating some length in the spine. Some length in the backs of the legs. Stay for another full breath here. And then as you exhale, release your arms. Let your arms hang. Tuck your chin to your chest. Curl your spine. So we're trying to round the spine as we come up. Stacking up one vertebrae at a time. Taking your time. Eventually the shoulders come over the hips. The chest lifts up, the gaze comes forward, and the shoulders come back and down. So coming into standing, bring your hands to prayer. Go ahead and find a gazing point in front of you. So find a place that you can fix your eyes. So every time we come back up to standing, you can find that same drishti or that same gazing point to help you find inner focus and connection. A reminder to just be right here, to be present without being distracted. Take another full belly breath, inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your nose. And then on your inhale here, sweep your arms overhead, reaching to upward salute. As you exhale, soften your knees, swan dive, find that forward fold. We're going to flow right back up. Inhale, long spine, reverse swan dive. Come all the way back up. Exhale, bring your hands to your chest. Come back to your drishti. Find your gazing point. Take a quiet breath. In these moments of pause, come back to your breath. And then same thing again here. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, swan dive and fold. Soften the knees a little bit if you need to. And then inhale, long spine, reverse swan dive. Come all the way back up. And exhale, bring your hands to your chest. Find that same drishti. Take a belly breath. And so this time we'll add onto our flow. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Keep the shoulders pulling down. Exhale, swan dive and fold. Let your hands rest on the ground. And on your inhale, bring the right foot back to runner's lunge. So we'll sink the hips down toward the ground. Lift the chest and bring the gaze forward so the spine is long and straight, reaching the crown of the head toward the top of the mat, the right heel toward the back of the mat. Take another full breath. And as you exhale here, go ahead and release the right knee down, untuck the toes, reach the arms overhead. The more you lean into that left hip, the more you're going to stretch into the hips. So lean in if you feel like you can. Pull back if it feels too intense. Spark the fingers up toward the ceiling and then draw the shoulder blades down. You can gaze forward or lift your gaze and take a little back bend. Press into the top of the right foot. Take one more breath here. And then if you're back bending, come back on center. Left hand, thumb and first finger wrap around the right wrist. We're going to take a little lean to the left side. So this is where you really want to press into the right foot. Squeeze the left knee in and toward the top of your mat, finding that strong, solid base. One more big breath here. And then inhale, come back on center, stretch the arms up. As you exhale, frame the left foot with the hands. Shift your hips backward, and we'll come into a hamstring release here. So the left knee might stay bent. It might be able to straighten out. We're going to stay for 2 full breaths. I'm sure you're feeling that hamstring stretch, but if you need a little deeper stretch, you can straighten the knee, walk the chest a little closer to the leg. Last belly breath. And then inhale, lift up your chest, lean into the left knee, plant the left foot on the ground, and before we release, we're going to take a twist. So the right hand stays down, the left arm reaches up. Turning toward the left side of your mat, try to find that revolving in the torso. So the left shoulder pulls back, the right shoulder pushes through, still pressing into the top of the right foot. One more big breath here. And then as you exhale, left hand comes down, tuck your right toes, pick up your right knee, step back to plank, and we'll just hang on to plank for a breath. It's always okay to put your knees down here, and then release to downward facing dog. Pedal out the legs a few times if you like. Keep drawing the shoulders down away from the ears. Wrap the outer upper arms in so the elbow creases start to turn forward. One more belly breath here. And at the end of your exhale, look up to your hands, take baby steps, come forward again. Reach up, take your elbows, come back to ragdoll. So take a little bend in your knees here. Keep your elbows, your forearms close to your forehead. And as you inhale, lift up halfway. So you'll feel that work in your hamstrings. Exhale, release and fold. And we're going to go one more time. Inhale, lift up halfway. Little bend in the knees. Be careful. And then exhale, release and fold. Let the arms go. Tuck your chin, curl your spine. Come back up to standing slowly, one vertebrae at a time, feeling movement in all parts of the back. Shoulders come back, chest lifts up, hands to chest. Find that same drishti. So come back to your gazing point. Find your focus. Be present. And here we go again. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, swan dive and fold. On your inhale here, left foot steps back, runner's lunge. So this should be the opposite leg from before. Sink your hips down, shine your heart forward, creating some length, especially in the upper back. Just another breath here. And then as you exhale here, go ahead and release your left knee down. Untuck your toes. Sweep your arms overhead to come up to Anjaneyasana or low lunge. So remember, leaning in for a deeper stretch, pulling back for a little less intensity. Do what's right for your body. Make your arms really strong and straight. Draw your shoulder blades down, but reach through your fingertips. Option to lift the gaze on this last breath. Big press into the top of the left foot. Find that anchor, find that grounding in the left leg. And then come back to center. Right hand takes the left wrist, and we're going to lean to the right, creating a little space in the left rib cage, left shoulder, left lats. Breathe into that space. So that's really all we're doing in yoga, is creating space in the body. And then come back on center. Reach the fingers up. Big breath. And as you exhale, we're going to frame the hands around the right foot. Shift your hips back, straightening the knee until you feel a hamstring stretch. So that's all you need to do. Once you start to feel that stretch, hold your position, find your breath, and let that hamstring release gradually and slowly. Another breath here. And then we'll bend into the right knee. Lean your hips forward. We're going to take a twist before we release. So the left hand plants, the right arm sweeps up. Turn your chest towards your right knee. Squeeze your right knee in towards your chest. So keep that strong foundation in the lower body. Spark through the fingers, straighten the elbow if you can, and take one more big belly breath. As you exhale, right hand comes down, tuck the left toes, pick up the left knee, step back to plank, Hang on to that plank position. Squeeze the abdominals in and up. Reach your tailbone towards your heels, and then release, press back to downward facing dog. Option to pedal out the legs a few times if you like. And we'll just take 2 full rounds of belly breath. Last big breath here. And this time, at the end of your exhale, look up to your hands. With baby steps or maybe a jump, bring your feet together between your hands. Big toes close together. Take your hands to your shins. Bring your gaze forward, coming into that half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Let your head go. Soften your knees, long spine. Inhale, reverse swan dive. And then exhale, hands to chest, gaze forward. Take a breath in mountain pose. So we're about to start rolling through a few rounds of Sun A. So this will be a little more dynamic, a little more moving, creating a little heat in the body so we can stretch a little deeper. On your inhale, sweep your arms overhead, Urdhva Hastasana, upward salute. As you exhale, swan dive to forward fold in Uttanasana. And on your inhale, lift to half fold, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway up. As you exhale, plant your hands, take 2 steps to plank, squeeze the elbows in, bend the elbows, always okay to drop the knees. Inhale to up dog or cobra, and then exhale, press back to downward facing dog. Tuck the elbows in toward the ears, draw the shoulder blades down, knees can be bent or straight, heels can be down or lifted. Turn your sit bones up. Take another full breath. And as you exhale, look up to your hands, walking or jumping. Bring your feet between your hands. Touch your shins, lift up halfway. Exhale, forward fold, let your head go. Long spine, inhale, reverse swan dive. Exhale, hands to chest. Find that drishti. Take a belly breath in mountain pose. We're going to flow through that same sequence again, trying to flow with our breath. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, dive down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale to low plank or chaturanga. Squeeze the elbows in. Inhale to up dog. This could be cobra. And exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Hold here for 2 full rounds of breath. Still breathing through the belly. 1 more big breath here. And again, as you exhale, look up to your hands. Inhale, walk or jump, feet between the hands. Lift to halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Exhale, hands to heart, coming back to mountain pose. Find your drishti, take a breath. And then we'll add on to this flow. Inhale, sweep the arms up, reach through the fingers. Exhale, swan dive and fold. Inhale to halfway. Exhale to chaturanga, 2 steps or a jump. Inhale, up dog, open the heart. Exhale, press back down dog. On your inhale, sweep your right leg up, flex your foot, squeeze into your right glute. As you exhale, curl your right knee into your chest and step your right foot between your hands. So we're coming back up to runner's lunge. Make your left leg really strong. This is the same sequence we did before. Take a big breath. As you exhale, release the left knee, untuck the toes. Inhale, sweep the arms up, Anjaneyasana. 1 breath here. And exhale, fold and place the hands around the foot, the right foot. Sweep the hips back, finding that hamstring release. 1 breath here. And then bend into the right knee. Plant the left hand on your inhale. Right arm reaches up. 1 breath here. And your exhale will take you all the way to plank. So tuck the left toes, step the right foot back. Hold that plank position for a breath. And this time, as you exhale, just drop the knees to come into table, and we'll extend the right leg to the right and sit back in child's pose. So adding in a little release for the right inner hip, the right groin. So breathe into the tight spots, enjoy the pause, and find your breath. One more full belly breath. And then as you inhale here, lift your way back up to tabletop. Sweep your right leg behind you. Point your 5 toes down toward the ground. Squeeze into your right glute. And then we'll tuck the left toes. Lift up to 3-leg dog. And this time, go ahead and point your right toes. Reach your right foot a little higher. And once the foot is as high as it can go, bend the knee. And then work on squaring the shoulders. So the right shoulder drops forward and down again. Getting that big release in the front of the right hip into the right quads. Take one more breath. And then we'll stretch the right leg back up to 3-leg dog. As you exhale, squeeze your knee back into your chest. Step your foot between your hands. And then start to shift your weight into your feet. Lighten up your fingertips, and we're going to reach overhead to crescent lunge. So sink into the right knee. Keep reaching back through the left heel. Spark the fingers, straighten the elbows. And on this last breath, if you like, take a little lift in your chest. Stay for one more breath. And then release, hands to chest. Turn to your right, crossing left elbow to the right thigh. Just a little twist in your runner's lunge here. Press the right hand into the left hand, look over the right shoulder. Last full breath. Exhale, eyes down, hands down. Quarter turn to your left, coming into a wide leg forward fold. So one choice here is to keep the hands under the shoulders and just fold, bend the knees a little bit. Another option would be to walk the feet or the hands between the feet. Maybe walking the hands out to the sides, holding the ankles or the calves. We'll stay for 2 breaths. It's just fine to keep the knees soft, so don't strain the hamstrings here. Last full breath. And then gently walk your hands underneath your chest. Bend your knees a little bit and then reach your hands to your hips. We're going to come all the way up to standing slowly. Take your time coming up. Flip your right foot toward the top of your mat so the right big toes turn forward. Pigeon toe your left foot. Take your arms out in a T. Sink into your right knee. So as the right knee moves over the middle of the foot, we're coming into Warrior 2. Notice if the left shoulder wants to turn forward, and try to pull the left shoulder back so it actually sits behind the right shoulder. Take another breath here. And then exhale to side angle. So maybe the right elbow to the right thigh or the right hand to the floor. And the left arm is going to sweep overhead with the bicep right beside the ear. Now this is where we're going to revolve the rib cage. Pull the left ribs back, push the right ribs through. And make your left leg really strong and straight. Take another big belly breath. And then on your inhale, rise up Warrior 2. Go ahead and dance it back to Peaceful Warrior. 1 breath here.